WIIFTV PM.
WIIFTVP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTVP. Media's just for you and me.
Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20 piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that glow on. Why you gotta look so good, 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 good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that glow on, girl, why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I want a check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me all that you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your clothes on. When you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? When you're at the job, just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club, turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor, giving more. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting your own woman. No, why you gotta look so good? With your hair done and your nails done, when you put that grown on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
WIFTV PM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it down. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked it so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked it so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. So many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same street with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked it so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked it so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. On a Tuesday, 7 days, it is the countdown. It is 1 week to go until the big election day, y'all. And I am here to tell you, bring it on! Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. I'm ready for this 7 day countdown. It means that I'm going to need y'all to do everything y'all need to do, boppers and boppettes. Listen to me, boppers and boppettes. We got a mission, and today at 8 o'clock, I'm going to talk to y'all. Last night, I had a vision. I'm scared to tell y'all about my vision, but I had a vision. A vision that made me want to go back to the first episode of Poli-Sci 101 and talk about Big Bill Dawson and what he was able to accomplish in a 4-year period. And you know, do y'all know sometimes I take trolling like seriously, and I expect that like at this point. You would think that after, I don't know, Riis, I'm not as old as y'all because, you know, y'all had Facebook in college. I didn't get Facebook till maybe like 13, 14 years ago. And I've always tried to have a space where I feel like where people, whoever, whether you like me or don't like me, and I know Junior says that you're not allowed to disagree with me on this network, and it really isn't. It just be some days I'll be like, I just ain't for it. Like when somebody wake up and they just gonna be like, they gonna just be anti. Some days I don't be for it, but I try to make it where you have a space where you can tell your opinion. But one of the trolls that as we get closer to the end of the time, and they get more desperate. I posted the What's in it for the Black People sample ballot. And somebody was like, oh, look at him trying to pass voters for his boo. And it was like, obviously somebody who didn't know me, right? And didn't obviously, like, it's like these are the paid people that when you get desperate, you start paying for trolls, you start paying for desperate stuff. And so, people start making fake accounts and then coming on my space. And and so it made me think though, Riis, it was like, I got back to the origins of the What's in it for the Black People voters guide. And that, Riis, it goes all the way. I've been doing this for almost 6 years. And so somebody kind of made me mad, but I just found some old pictures of the What's in it for the Black People Voters Guide that we did when Congresswoman Maxine Waters was like, "Dag, we must vote." She was riding in Tennille's Hyundai. The car that my son got, we had Auntie Maxine before she was Auntie, because she got mad at me later on in the career of the show. She kind of snapped on us. Because it was at first, everybody liked What's in it for the Black People till they had to answer the question, Riis. Then they started getting mad. She was like, what do you mean? But anyway, Riis, as we go into this election cycle, I had a vision last night that we could actually do this. And when I say we, I don't mean just my beautiful and lovely wife. I feel like what they count on in elections is disunity of Black people and compromising us. But I was actually thinking, with low turnout, they say low turnout means that it favors the machine. But I got to tell y'all, I feel like we have an opportunity to deliver a mouth punch across the whole entire joint. If the Black people, justice, because white folks is not into this election like that. And I really think, did y'all notice that there's a lot of commercials? Anti-commercials starting to pop up. Not just, but I honestly think that if for the next 7 days, and I can't expect everybody to be on it, but could you imagine if the next 7 days everybody on the elected, on the Black People First, What's in it for the Black People First sample ballot all work together instead of separately? Like if everybody just said, okay, everybody on this ticket, whatever we got, we all we got. So from David Moore on down, we all we got. So if we got somebody on the, okay, am I wrong to have a vision that Black people could pull it? Is it wrong to believe that we could actually pull it? I want to talk about it today at 8 o'clock. So I want y'all to make sure y'all get y'all, because I kind of have a whole written out plan of how we could. So you know how you be doing stuff all the time. You know the people and you know the players and you know how they work and what they could do. And you say, hey, Joe, if we got this and this, if y'all two knew that this was happening, y'all two could say, y'all could double y'all resources. So I woke up with a vision this morning that I don't care who paid who. Right? Like, I don't care who paid you. I ain't trying to stop nobody from getting their money that's doing elections. But could on one day, on this election day, for 80% of us, could we, if everybody that was on the What's in It for the Black People First card could all work together and imagine everybody, Riis, check this out. Last time, Bob Fioretti got almost 40-something% of the vote. 30-something% of the vote, did he? Let's check that. Anyway, here goes my point, Riis. What could happen if just everybody... So, right, we all are selfish because... Not selfish. We all got our own limited resources, so we be trying to cobble this thing together. But, Riis, has there ever been a time when if everybody put in... Like, everybody got something, but, like, if everybody put in, everybody could eat and everybody could be fat? I'm going to give you an example. And I hate this example, but in college, you could go to the store and buy yourself a steak, and you would eat good. But if you took that same money and bought a bag of pinwheels, right? You could feed everybody, and everybody be kicking it. Now, I don't particularly care for dark meat, but in college. But then everybody ate, everybody had some chicken and some beer. And there was no big eyes and little U's, but guess what? Everybody did and it didn't matter what you had, you came to the grill and got you something to eat. It's funny because somebody asked me, while somebody was pointing out to me about the What's in It for the Black People card, they're like, how much you charge the people? Not even in a disrespectful manner, but it's like, that's not what it's about for me. And so, you know, like, because right now people are calling me like, and I'm respectfully like, hey man, I need you to pay me to go cover this area and cover this area and cover this area, and I'm getting money from this. And I'm not hating on nobody at all. Like, I want everybody to get paid. But could you imagine if every polling place in the black neighborhood had everybody black, you went to every one of them, they was like, there you go. We, like the brother not, like even if you getting paid to work for somebody else, we all on one accord one time. So I got a vision at 8 o'clock that I'm going to share with y'all because y'all done made me start talking about it too early. Look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Rule in the building. DJ Riis the Rule on a Tuesday. How you feeling, dog?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest. How you feeling, that boss?
I'm feeling energized, Riis. It's getting a little hot in here. It's getting hot in her. But don't you take off all your clothes, Riis. It's not Wednesday anyway. So don't start that. All right, y'all. So I know there's people on the streets. JB hiring. Could you imagine if everybody hiring? It's okay. Work for your candidate that's paying. But like the black people, like blackity black. Hey, yo, why don't you go and take this with you? And imagine if everybody that was in the movement, like we just took a shift at a polling place. Like your neighborhood polling place, you was like, look, and we didn't steal each other's sign. And instead of me having 50 people go to 83,000 places, we meet at one spot, everybody go to the respective. Okay, I'm telling too much. 8 o'clock, it's the master plan. Riis, I think I got a diabolical plan of black unity to make the world work. Like, what if everybody on election day black just gave up 2 hours? Say, if I'm going to the polling place, I'm going to tell people, go vote. Man, I'm going to go 2 hours, vote for the black people. Let's change our side of town. I'm getting excited. I'm going to stop talking about it because I know I'm supposed to. All right. So, Riis, you good? I'm good. Let's do this. Let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. Let's get this bad boy up, and away. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Did you see yesterday? Shout out to Monique Scott, the 50-year-old sister of former alderman of the 24th Ward, Michael Scott. Yesterday, she got the call that she will be appointed by Mayor Lori Lightfoot to fulfill the remainder of her term, of her brother, Michael Scott. Some people are crying, like I see the white media like crying, saying it's nepotism. I'm sure that there are people everywhere that are saying nepotism. But I would just say this, Riis. The mayor is, we're going to talk about what drove that decision, but I want to congratulate Alderman Scott. See, we don't even got to change nothing. Alderman Scott, see? Hey, man, you know you don't talk about nobody's sister. I know how that is, because you talk about my sister, it's going to be a problem. So anyway, we are going to talk a little bit later, though, about that whole concept and kind of like the legacy and passing on and passing the torch and all of that good stuff. We're going to talk about that. Did you see Reverend Meeks retiring from Salem Baptist Church next year, turning it over to Charlie Dates, Pastor Charlie Dates from Progressive Baptist Church? Now, wait a minute. Where is Progressive? Is that the Clay Evans Church?
I don't know, man. They be moving so much.
Progressive, y'all out there in the comments, tell me where Progressive Church is. So 65-year-old Pastor James Meeks is leaving Salem Baptist Church and retiring at age 65, turning over the reins to Pastor Charlie Dates. Progressive. Okay, so I don't know where Progressive Baptist Church is. Somebody tell me where that is. Anyway, that's Fellowship. Okay, got it. All right, so anyway, he'll be taking over. But I just wanted y'all to, so this is what I want y'all to do. And I really don't want to highlight it because I think it's kind of crazy. But so if you look at the story in the Sun-Times, and I want you all to start paying attention to this because they do this to black people all the freaking time. And I was telling you about like how they niggerize us. So Pastor Meeks, you gotta give him props as being one of the most successful long-term pastors, faithful membership. You know what I'm saying? You ain't seen him on the video. You ain't seen him on Summer Jam. You may not always like his opinions, but I feel like Pastor Meeks is somebody that's a pretty good rep for a preacher. So I don't know if you read his bio. So they was telling about all the stuff that he did in the Sun-Times. Then at the end, they slapped 2 paragraphs of. Meanwhile, but don't forget, he was the opposition. Man, Riis, it's like they give this, Pastor Meeks, 65. He's passing it on. His legacy. Then they kick. You know how they started though. But don't forget, he was R. Kelly's spiritual advisor. Like, why you even gotta put that in there? And then from there, it was like they opened the door, and then they just went. I'm not going to go down the rest of the path, but they went through when Reverend Meeks was in the space show, he actually, I feel like he never really caved to the progressives, so to say, but they made him pay a price for it. But shout out to Pastor Meeks for passing on the legacy. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Big PAC money enters into the congressional race. Riis, the PAC, the political action committees, these independent expenditures, these people putting from Washington, D.C., are putting money in. Remember when I said a long time ago, I thought that Maestradamus, it's just, I want to show y'all the difference between how they do black people and white people. So the PACs, which are political action committees out of Washington, D.C., which is what you've been seeing fund a lot of the races in the white areas. So like the Marie Newman, Sean Casten, you see a lot of ads that are paid for by these outside groups. Well, with the black groups, they wait till the week before, so they only have to spend a small amount of money because they figure just a little bit of money and a little bit of TV will get you over the hump. It's one of the challenges that black candidates have, right? Is like, imagine with all of the people involved, there should have been a robust TV ad campaign, etc. But they are now saying that, I don't know if y'all saw this, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but this PAC money from Washington, D.C. is now entering the race with the goal of influencing the outcome Karen Norrington Reeves has a big contribution, as well as Jonathan Jackson with outside money. They are dinging Jonathan Jackson right now. And I think that this TV could actually be the difference between a Pat Dow and Jonathan Jackson congressional seat. I really do think it's boiled down to two people. I do think Jackie Collins, and I still feel like Swain is somewhere in that mix. But I do think it's going to boil down to those two. And TV may make the difference. Although they say that a poll release says that if it's not for Jesse Jackson, then voters would not necessarily be voting for Jonathan Jackson. That was interesting. But that's why you see his dad in the commercials. They said it was a big digital company put in like $500,000 a bit. What you call them, Riis? Them Bitcoin companies? The digital currency guy put in like $500,000 into his campaign. So we'll see how that works out. Well, they didn't put it into his campaign because they can't coordinate, but it was an independent expenditure. So we'll see how that works out. Juneteenth celebrations yesterday. Hey, y'all be seeing how they be. Y'all saw the Juneteenth celebrations yesterday on TV? Hey, man. Y'all got to stop inviting the white guy. Because the white guy that the Cook County Dems keep inviting keeps getting the day wrong. He thought Juneteenth was the 18th first. Then he thought the 20th. Riis, we got to stop letting all these people just all up into our stuff. It's kind of crazy. All right, let me see what else I got in this building. Shout out to Black Men United. They are doing their thing around the city. Pastor Harrell, Terry Young, and a few. I got to see the other people. But Riis, they giving away. They said if you can't feed them, you can't lead them. So they say if you want to stop gun violence, you got to start addressing some of the economic woes. They's giving away furniture, bro. Like furniture. Like you get your living room set, cuz. See, I wish they would have been doing that during the riots. Then they wouldn't have tore up the mall. But okay, that's a whole nother story. Not the riots, the uprisings. What else I got? Joe Biden. You hear Joe Biden talking about giving out gas cards, Riis? Man,
from Willie Wilson.
Man, Joe, and they gonna hate on Willie Wilson for it. But if Joe Biden give out gas cards, dog, I'm a really. Did you see about Riis? Did you hear about Brittany Griner? Man, she been in locked up in Russia for 4 months. And this Sunday was her and her wife's anniversary. And so they finally approved for her to have phone calls, to be able to talk to her wife for the first time in 4 months. Riis, she called 11 times. Nobody picked up at the State Department. Everybody was off. So the Russians approved one day for her to finally talk to her wife. They gave her a number to call, and then she called it like the Russians like, you got 2 hours, or like either we'll give you the whole day to call. She called 11 times. Nobody. Hey man, can you imagine? You ain't talked to your lady in 4 months, and then ain't nobody. Then in the State Department like, my bad, we had a scheduling conflict. Poor Brittany Griner. 4 months, no contact. She has, and I feel like the hope of contact and not getting it is worse than just. I'd rather just be where I was at. Like if I thought I was gonna talk to you today after 4 months, and then I don't, and then they let me keep trying to after 3 times I gotta stop doing it because it's gonna hurt me. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, call me back, but she couldn't leave a message. That is crazy. All right, let me see what else. Oh, Riis, I don't know, man, Joe. You see me? I don't know if you saw my Facebook Live yesterday. You see me? Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. Because Twister, Kenny Lattimore, and The Brat was performing by Costco last night. With the helicopter taking off, with the helipads and the helicopters, and it was like helicopters. It was cracking, Joe. It was like, imagine a concert with the L going behind the back, helicopters taking off and landing, all the food trucks from all the stuff you could eat in Chicago. Man, it was crazy last night. Can you hear that in my voice?
Sound pretty energetic.
Hey, man, that's my coffee. But anyway, it was... So anyway, the Brat did Functified. Let me tell you what, though. I don't know if there's a... You know I'm a big J fan, but I do not know if there is a colder... especially if the bass is right, opening than Adrenaline Rush. Doom, doom, doom. Man. When he played, I felt like it's too many foo-foo people here for him to play Adrenaline. Boy, when he came out, that Twister is something else, Joe. I you know what I'm saying? It's like, I just feel like he never got the props he's supposed to get. He's still like, because it was funny to watch all the people just responding to him, and they was all from all over the place. And he got a nice little, you know what he did not do, though, that I wanted to hear? Is that your chick? Doom, 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 doom. But it was all good last night. So if you want to check any of that out, you could go to my Facebook Live. It's not the Maze Jackson page, but on Maze Jackson. You could check out some of that live video last night. Shout out to Thyatira Town. Shout out to the Chicago Department of Aviation and everyone. Shout out to H-Dub and Leslie Gould doing it. All right. We had a good time yesterday, and thank y'all for letting us crash y'all table. All right, look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. When we come back, we are going to do the social media question of the day. Plus, we're going to talk about a few more things. Look, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. DJ Riis, the ruler on the ones and twos. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
My mom would say, Carrie, don't talk about it, be about it. My name is Carrie K. Still, and as president of the Water Reclamation District, I lead an agency with a $1 billion budget, AAA bond rating. We've increased transparency while we've reduced our reliance on tax dollars. Now, my opponent has been all talk and broken promises. The Sun-Times said Kagi's office is riddled with mismanagement, hurting our seniors, our veterans, and our property tax bills are going to be late again. Look, we all knew 4 years ago that the Cook County property tax system was broken and needed to be reformed. And unfortunately, it still does. That's why I'm asking for your vote June 28th, punch number 112. Because I won't spend the next 4 years talking about it. I'll be about it. Vote for me, Carrie K. Still, as your next Democratic Cook County assessor. This message has been paid for by friends of Carrie Still.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest Black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion has to be said? You check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:40 a.m. and I'm Riis, the ruler, with your Chicagoland area traffic, sports, and weather update. As we head over to sports, the Chicago Cubs continue to be a punching bag as they lose 12-1 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. As the Sox hold off the Blue Jays as they try to make a late run, and they will win 8-7. Let's head over to traffic now. In the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop will be 24 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 21. On the Edens, inbound from Deerfield till Exchange will be 30 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 27. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop will be 42 minutes. 27 minutes back out to Thorndale, while the Stevenson is from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 46 minutes. Outbound will be 30. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan will be 33 minutes, 26 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan, 16 minutes to the Loop, 12 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive South, 55th to Jackson will be 7 minutes and back. 8 minutes north, Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 75. Today will be a high of 100 and a low of 73. Y'all stay cool out there. This Riis the Ruler here on the Maze Jackson Show.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, come all the way with me. Don't leave me down. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos, and it is a little bit after 6:30. You know that's the time that we welcome the WBGX 1570 AM listeners. Thank you to WBGX 1570 AM. Give us a call 872-259-7474. I don't know if they still out there or not. Man, Brian been acting up, so we got to check it out. But if you are not out there, you should be back soon. We'll be working that out. But also, so if you get here at 6:30, you can stay with us, the Saints. They get here for 6:30, stay till 8. Now, if you are a center, you get here at 6 and you stay till 9. Get here early, stay late, because, sometimes y'all got to get a little bit more of the message. Yes, that's right. This is the Maze Jackson Show, and it is about 6:42 on the 21st of June. It means we got 8 days to the election day. Boppers and boppettes, everybody black, I need you to tell your grandma, your granddaddy, your auntie, your uncle, turn out to vote. You know what I'm saying? Let's we can do it. Somebody, let me tell you, Lord, if it ain't one thing we need, let me tell y'all. All right, Riis, it's time, man. Let's get this Let's you got that button over there? Let's go to the button. I want to talk about this. This is a good question for me. All right, we ready?
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Who has successfully passed the baton in the black community? I want you to think about it. And then I want you to answer the question. I want you to open up the phone lines. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. It's the social media question of the day. Who has successfully passed the baton in the black community? What made me think about this? Two things really made me think about this. One, reading the story of Pastor James Meeks saying that he is stepping down next year and turning the reins of the church over to Pastor Charlie Dates. Now, I don't know Pastor Dates. I've had limited interaction with Reverend Meeks, but all of my interactions with Reverend Meeks have always been positive. You know how as people you plan to not like because they preachers, and then you have the conversation with them, and you be like, oh, this is a real brother. Pastor Meeks fits in that space. So I have a tremendous amount of respect. He owed me a phone call, but still have a tremendous amount of respect for Pastor James Meeks. But I think I have an even more tremendous amount of respect for him because Riis, he is doing what I have talked so many times about. I've talked about black leadership leaving at a time where they can be both a benefit to themselves and a benefit to their legacy. Now in the church, it's a little different because you can kind of name your successor and they don't really have to face the voters. The challenge oftentimes, though, is that when you are put in the place of a church where there is a great pastor, you never live up to that standard, which is why it seems like to me so many black pastors die at their church because their church becomes their life, their enterprise. They have built their church wrapped around them. I don't mean that in any type of disrespectful way, but I do feel like, if God calls you and you feel like we operate churches not like businesses. I feel like white churches be like, oh, it's a business. We rotating you up out of here after 5 years. Ain't no 20-year you staying at this bad boy. Nope. Get you going. Because sometimes then there is at least when I was in the white church, because there's a feeling of ownership that comes with the church, which then makes it sort of like a kingdom almost that has subjects, that has built its own sort of hierarchy that is then passed on to, in a lot of cases, the son or daughter, son, or maybe daughter, I don't know. Let me just be all inclusive. But it's passed on as it's not passed on like spiritually, it's passed on like as an inheritance almost, if that makes sense. Because oftentimes, so much of the family's wealth is intertwined with the success of the church, etc., right? So when you look at this transition, I think it's awesome that Reverend Meeks is leaving his flock, and not his flock, the Lord's flock, at an early enough age where, one, he can enjoy his life. Because at 65, you probably, if you Reverend Meeks, you probably straight. So you kicking it. Like, you going to live at your Florida home, right? You can still come and minister, do whatever else you got to do, and I'm not trying to be funny or shade him. But what he also said he was going to do was he was going to mentor young politicians and young pastors at a time where, in my estimation, he can still be relevant. He can still be of service and use all of his knowledge and expertise to raise up the next generation and give over the keys to this. Do you know how hard it's got to be to give up 10,000 people every week? Riis, like 10,000 people at your back, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but to say, okay, I am going to walk away from this. I'm not going to die in this. And so my question is, who else has successfully passed on the baton? And we're not, let me say this, no shade to Pastor Dates. We've seen transitions and they haven't always worked out the best. But I want to know, give us a call, 872-259-7474. When have we seen successful passing of the baton in the black community? Whether it's business, church, politics, whatever. Like, have we seen a mentor-mentee scenario work where people are confident in the person, and then the person that they leave behind is trained and well known and prepared to step into the shoes where you don't feel some kind of way? Like, I was looking at the response of people to Pastor Charlie Dates. And it seemed to be that everybody spoke very highly of him, right? So in that, as he moves into the space of becoming the pastor of one of the biggest and most influential churches, he now still has the alliance or the ability to rely on Pastor Meeks to help him get through those rough times. Those times when the motherboard ain't feeling what you're saying, or they don't like the preacher's wife, or all of those different things, and he becomes an asset, ability to, right? Like, and I feel like that's what doesn't happen for us in Congress. Like, let's look right now, and no shade to Danny Davis, but again, or look at both of our congressional seats right now. We have one congressional seat where, and again, I know a lot of the people in the race, so I don't have any shade to any of them. But it does seem like Bobby Rush would have, if he knew he was retiring, would have had somebody waiting in the wings that was familiar with the district, that had been working every day, toiling in the space that he would pass the legacy on. Now, maybe that is Karen Norrington Reeves. So I don't want to take that away, but I feel like we would have known that a little bit more. I think when you look at a person like Danny Davis, who has all of the knowledge of the West Side and West, right, and all of the respect of the world, I feel like Danny Davis should be the president of Chicago State. And I'm not saying that against the current president of the United States, of Chicago State, but where he could still be an ally and a resource. And if he had a young whippersnapper that he was working with all of these years, that he was saying, okay, I thought that would be Richard Boykin at one point, right? And you could you see, like, Richard Boykin was his chief of staff, and you could see kind of like Richard Boykin, what's his name? Danny Davis stepping aside, and Richard Boykin having been the chief of staff all of those years, knowing how to move around Congress, being ready to step up and step in, and then him having Danny Davis as his whisperer, as his senior counsel who knows how to move around, and Danny Davis becomes a super powerful lobbyist with a congressman under his wing, right? Like, I feel like we often want to die in the space. And again, this is not a diss to anybody. So what you find is people like Akina Collins, who comes out of the left, out of nowhere. No disrespect, she ran last time, but comes out of nowhere. And now you got all of these people from out of state showing her love and respecting her and financing her to go to war with one of the elders, because none of us really see a path forward, or you haven't presented the path forward. There is no pipeline. So what we find ourselves doing is fighting to get to the top, because there is no orderly procession. So you do get mad when you see somebody get appointed, because you don't know that there was a pipeline or even a fair opportunity to work your way up. And so I'm asking you, give us a call, 872-259-7474. When have we seen the successful passing of a baton in the black community? I'll give you another example of a good pass. Jeremiah Wright to Otis Moss Jr., Otis Moss III. Right? Like, think about that one. Reverend Wright was a pillar of the community and remains an icon, even though he got shaded by President Barack Obama. But he decided he decided to retire and turn the keys over to Otis Moss III, who I think has done a tremendous job. Maybe I'm crazy, but I really do. I enjoy his sermons. I feel like he is in tune. He's the type of preacher that I appreciate. He's thoughtful. He ain't just hooping and hollering. He's actually grounded. But I want to ask you, when's for passing of the baton in business, politics, the streets? When have we seen it successfully passed in the black community? Because I think one of the things I was talking about yesterday is, Riis, without a successful pass, we're always starting over from scratch, right? So think about this. If you get a new congressman, we start from scratch. So all of the stuff because ain't nobody gonna pass you over their books, they files if they lose. They're not gonna say, okay, here are the projects that we were working on that are right. And I do believe that there needs to be a level of continuity. I do believe that there needs to be a progression. I don't necessarily believe that in politics, just because you can run, that you deserve to be in the office. Now, if you win, that's that. But I do think there is something to being a public servant. There is something to practicing your craft. I know it always sounds sexy to say I'm just going to show up and win, but I feel like part of the reason that we always are finding ourselves behind is because we don't have a uniform system. There is no farm league. Everybody gets to the table and they got to start from scratch. Because you got to beat the man to be the man instead of the man handing off the gavel and saying, okay, you continue what we were doing. Now, and Jerome, I tell you, you say, I would argue that was a narrative that President Obama needed in the black community to get credibility. I told you I went to an event where I saw President Obama play our brother so crazy to the left that I was like, you can't have him stand. How you standing next to me and you his godfather? Right? I'm like, hey, Joe. And so I think, I think who is successfully passing the baton? One of the things I talk about is who all VB. I can't 100% agree with you on that one. I'm not gonna go there, but I can't 100% agree with you on that one. I guess my question is, and I know that the thing is throw everybody out, but I'm gonna tell you, I've had the opportunity over the last, let's say, 4 to 5 months to be in a position to give people opportunities, right? People who have said what they want to do, how they want to do it. And I've been in a position where I say, okay, do it. Let's do it. And then what I find out is that they might not necessarily know how to do it. They may not necessarily have that set and it becomes, then I say, so where did you learn this profession? Right? Like, you talk about it, but where is your expertise in it? Like, when did you do it? When have you? And I feel like with government, people just be like, oh, I'm going to show up. And they think there is some level of expertise that it comes to being an elected official and being in the space and knowing how to navigate and do all of those things. And what so often happens for us is we're underdeveloped. And so if you've never seen the whole game, they only keep you in a small space, so you don't understand fundraising. So you don't understand all of the other components that you need, and then you become 100% reliant. Because nobody told you. Remember I told you, me and my man, I was in politics for 15 years and didn't know what a lobbyist was. 15 as a black person. And it took somebody to show me, to take me down and show me that all of those people that were showing up with $250 checks was taking $2,000 checks across the room. But because we weren't aware fully of it, and it's like the people I'm relying on for my levels of expertise don't even know the game because they've been underdeveloped. And so imagine if I get to start over every time. So Riis, I don't show you everything that I learned and say, hey man, so what's happening right now when we talk about this money that's coming? Sean Caston and them knew the rich white people and the rich PACs to go to 6 months ago to go get money, which is why those same PACs spent millions for hundreds of thousands for them, and they spending $100,000 in the last week for you. Because your chief of staff is supposed to be somebody that gets off and goes after work, calls all the people that he knows and says, hey, yo, you want to see the congressman you want to continue? And so what should have happened is Akina Collins is supposed to, when you see her formidable 2 years ago, you supposed to go grab her. You supposed to say, come on, come to D.C. with me. Let me show you the ropes. Because what you find is that all of these people are throwing rocks or fighting because nobody is giving them an access point to even know that there is political hope. So when you see somebody say, okay, I'm about to start at mayor, they like, well, shoot, what's the difference between me starting you ain't giving me a chance to start or to practice as the president of the Young Democrats of the such and such ward, where I get to learn the process. And so I'm asking you, and that's not just for politics, that's my passion, but where is the Black transition program? My generation is still competing with the generation before us for money. They still trying to eat our lunch. And I don't mean that in a foul way. I'm saying like, cuz, who you making an equity partner in that? Who? I'm sorry, y'all. This cooks my grits. And I got to tell you, there is another level up, and I've been in a unique opportunity to give people opportunities. And what I will tell you is, I got to be honest, people do not want the same. They don't want to put in the work that it takes in a lot of cases in politics to get where you want. So the people who win long term ain't the ones that's getting paid. They doing it because they know how hard it is to win, but they understand the value of the victory. But if you only been a paid worker, if you've only seen the game as a $15 an hour person who gets paid, and your game in the politics is the hustle of the 10 months and getting these big checks from everybody who desperate for 2 weeks, and then you cut off for the rest of the next 4 years, then you go down and listen to people who teach you that way. But ask yourself, how many people have actually been brought up in the system, or not the system, but have a path forward? How many of our people are opening doors for not the old guys? The old guys are still trying to come and say, take care of us, look out for us. If the old guys ain't coming with an equity young partner, all right, y'all, I'm going to take a break because I done messed around and got hot up in here. So let's take a quick break, but I do want to know, tell me when you have seen the torch successfully passed in the Black community. Shout out to the Leaks. Even though the senior Mr. Leak still be cracked. Man, I was at a funeral and the senior Mr. Leak showed up. Like, he was just coming to check. I was like, how deep is that this man is all this and he's still checking his business? Because somebody taught him. Probably his daddy. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
Maze Jackson.
What's up, Chicago? This is your man, Maze Jackson, host of the Maze Jackson Show. You hear me every single day ask the question, what's in it for the Black people? Well, finally, y'all, we've got an answer, and it's called the Black People First Party. Meet us every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth, Unit 17E. That's in the mall at the 55th and the Dan Ryan. And you join us every Saturday where we are taking our politics black. We'll teach you everything you need to know about the game, from how to collect a petition to how to knock on a door to even how to become the next mayor of the city of Chicago. That's right, y'all. It is the Black People First Party. Meet us every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth in the mall at 55th and the Dan Ryan. And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. It's a black people thing you wouldn't even understand.
Maze Jackson.
If I gave you my love, I tell you what I do. I'd expect a whole lot of love out of you. You got to treat me good. And I'll be good to you. There's a whole lot of things you and I could do, baby. When you get right down to it, yeah. You're beautiful. I wouldn't change one thing about you, yeah. Oh, 'cause you're beautiful. I don't mind telling the world about you. Yeah. You're beautiful. And what about the way you love me? And the way you squeeze me. Simply beautiful. You're beautiful. When you needed me, yeah, I was right there by your side. Simply beautiful. You're beautiful. I wouldn't change nothing about you. Yeah. 'Cause you're beautiful. Yeah. When you get right down to it. When you get right down to it. Yeah. When you get right down to it. Oh, you're beautiful. I don't mind the world knowing about you. You're beautiful. And I don't care what the magazines say. I don't care what the magazines say. You're beautiful.
WIIFTVPN.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in it for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Economically, we are not equal. Waking up to life, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve wrong.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis, the ruler, on the ones and twos. On a Tuesday. It's 7 days away from Election Day. It's 7 days away. And we got a lot to do in a short amount of time. Man, bro. I told y'all open eights. It's like we said open eights, right? If you got a candidate that you would like to come into the station 8 o'clock, from the 8 o'clock hours, when I will be giving whoever comes the opportunity. Don't do me, please. Goodness. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Look. I am a little frustrated on this baton passing. Because you know how sometimes you don't want to waste your gift? If it's like there's a lot to learn. And it's people say they want to be mentored until you mentor them. People say they want what you got till you be like, okay, you do know I work. Like I have to put that, like I don't just show up. I got to put it in writing. It's a whole process to it. So people say they want to be mentored until I say, hey man, I need you to go knock on 100 doors. What? People say they want to be mentored till they see, I say, okay, well, carry the boxes. People say they want to be mentored when you they want you to be their mentor when it's some fun stuff to go to. You want to be your mentor when it's sexy. But nobody really wants to be your mentor or your mentee when you can't go to the club or when you at the cool place, but you got to work, where you have to be disciplined. Everybody want to do it till you see the work that, well, why I got to do that? Well, and so I ask, is there the opportunity to successfully pass on the baton? But I often wonder, do people really want what it takes to be successful? Right? I think a lot of people talk about the desire to be successful, but when presented with the requirements of success, and it's like, so I understand, part of me is who successfully passed on the baton, but who actually really wants to be mentored. So it's just an interesting thought process. I think everybody, like I've always said, everybody want to check. Nobody wants to necessarily do the work that it takes to get the check. It's like everybody want a morning show. Don't nobody want to advertise. That's okay though. That's why I got to go do the other things that it takes to make it happen. All right, y'all. Let's move on to the next topic on my list. Riis, everybody, I don't know if y'all saw yesterday, but Mayor Lori Lightfoot called 50-year-old Monique Scott, sister of Mike Scott, to let her know that she was going to be her pick to replace her brother, outgoing or retired Alderman Michael Scott, who served 7 years in the city council and has now gone on to Senate Space as a director of community relations and affairs. Now, people have screamed, hollered, and yelled and said it was patronage. There were 3 people that went out for it, I believe. One was Alderman Irvin's chief of staff, Trina Mangrum, and then Mike Scott's chief of staff, and then his sister. Mayor Lightfoot chose sister Monique Scott, who Michael Scott says was clearly the most qualified for the job, and said that if it were not for her last name being Scott, that no one would have an issue. I'll be honest, I don't have an issue with Monique Scott getting appointed. I actually think it presents an interesting hurdle. In that she would be going into the space in an election. Like literally, Riis, she'll be circulating petitions in 2 months. June, July, August. So realistically, the voters, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but she's really a placeholder right now, because there's not a lot of time to tout any of her own personal accomplishments. What she will get is the institutional support of, say, for instance, the aldermen and probably local lobbyists and contributions. But this isn't a mayor that has the coattails or $25 million to be able to fund her campaign. So realistically, she is going to have to face the uphill battle of the media proclaiming her a nepotism pick. So I feel like she enters into this with a strong headwind. If I were the mayor, I would have appointed someone probably who could have been a placeholder and let the people decide. And then if I was Monique, this is me, I would have then, if I was Monique Scott, then I would have taken full advantage of my last name and full advantage of all the relationships that I have and be in a good spot. Now, she will get the benefit of incumbency, i.e. she will have streets and sand. She will have all of the tools. There will be probably a ton of resources deployed to the 24th Ward in the next few months to ensure that Alderman Scott has a track record of getting things done. But I don't know if that will be enough. Why I do think this reform-based mayor picked Monique Scott is twofold. It's twofold. I think she wanted to appease local aldermen who are not necessarily for her. 2, she kind of played Michael Scott, because Michael Scott was actually wanting to be the head of the Chicago Park District. And they did not give him the slot. And when they didn't give him the slot, they gave it to Rosa Escarino. I think he was a bit perturbed. And if the mayor hoped to keep the popular alderman on her side, because he still remains a Democratic committeeman, she wanted to make sure that he would not be angry with her. Does that make sense at all? So, and then what it also did is it signaled to the other aldermen who she may need to keep. A lot of those aldermen who are on the brink of retirement or have the option to retire, it makes them feel a little bit more secure about supporting Mayor Lightfoot, who may not potentially pick their successor. So what she's trying to do is shore up her relationships with particularly the aldermen. Does that make sense to everybody? So Mayor Lightfoot, in faced with the choice, the three choices were Mickey Johnson, is it Mickey Johnson? He played for the Bulls. Monique Scott and Trina Mangrum. Those were the three people that went out for this position. The mayor chose Michael Scott. Now, apparently, Michael Scott will endorse the mayor in this upcoming election. Let me ask a question. How much will an aldermanic endorsement mean from the mayor in the 24th Ward? See, the mayor's got a lot of problems, bro. And so what she has to do, Riis, is figure out how does she keep the black people that she has, because that is her path to victory. Because, y'all will take a picture before y'all ask what's in it for the black people. But I ain't going to go there. In the meantime, I think there is a move right now by the mayor's office to kill the black candidates in the cradle. Do you know what that means? She is trying to kill their campaigns before they get off. So for the mayor, what she's got to do is she has got to thin out the black community, the black people in the race, right? She's got to eliminate the black people in the race because she has to consolidate the black vote. And the most people jumping into the race are black. And so now, Riis, what is starting to happen, do y'all remember that process called opposition research? Anybody remember what opposition research is? I know if you on BP1, you understand what it is. What opposition research is, so here's what the mayor has to do. The mayor cannot afford to let anybody black get any momentum at all. She already got the Willie Wilson problem. She thinks she probably can manage that. But she's now got Rod Sawyer, Cam Buckner, Willie Wilson, Fred Collins, Jamal Green. So the mayor to make it to the runoff has to, and she's got a Ray Lopez that splits a black ward. So now what the mayor has to do is start to, before we even get to the petition process, she wants to start making the media discount or discredit certain candidates. So Riis, I've already seen it start to happen. I don't know if you saw the other day, they took a whack at our guy Cam, talking about his nonprofit. The phone's open? They took a whack at our guy Cam. From a whole nother level. And what I realized was, I thought it was like a big deal. Let me back up. I didn't think it was a big deal to I thought it was a big deal to political insiders. I didn't think it was a big deal to the masses. Because did anybody even really see the story about Cam working at a nonprofit, the World Sports Chicago nonprofit is what the story was about. And essentially they said that the World Sports Chicago was a byproduct of the Chicago Olympics. And after we didn't get the Olympics, it was supposed to be a sports fund that basically raised money to do sports programming in Chicago where kids didn't have sports. So then they do this long story about how the white guy who ran it or the Latino guy who ran it right after was great. And then when Cam took it, that it kind of crashed and he made more money than it took in. But what it was a hit story, not for us, Riis. You know who it was for? It was to freeze him with white people who are looking for an option. So what the mayor has to do is demonize everybody black to make them scared enough, make the white folks say, oh, no, we can't do that, because that's something that they could beat us with. Right? And so the question becomes, should everybody just get to throw their like, here's my thing. Should everybody get to just throw their hat in the ring? Or should there be some sort of black process, or at least some sort of conversation? Because quite frankly, with all of these people in the race, there's no way that we're going to win. And I know that there's been all these different conversations and plebiscites about why, about trying to pick a black mayor, and I'm not suggesting that. But I do think that we should come up with a vetting process. Like, I almost feel like we should have a meeting and be like, okay, here's all of the things that, how do you plan on getting past this? And do our own opposition research on all the candidates. And before they turn it into a TV spot, right? Put it up and say, okay, how do you combat this negativity? And then get a real sense of, and even if they don't get out, we all know, okay, we can't go there. And so the question becomes right now, because right now they are trying to kill the people in the cradle. You gotta, and here's me with the black people sometimes. And this is my challenge, Riis, is that we romanticize the process, and we tend to pick flawed candidates aspirationally, hoping that nobody is going to say that. You ever seen somebody that has a blemish, or something on them that nobody ever talks about, but everybody sees it? And so nobody say, like, I don't want to make any examples of it, but how about this? You ever been somewhere and had a booger? And you had a booger and all day nobody tells you, and then somebody finally says, dog, you got a booger in your nose. But nobody else said you got a booger, and everybody else is uncomfortable. They don't really want to look you in your face. They don't really want to look at your nose because it's a nasty looking booger. But you walking around all day confident. You got your suit on. You like, man, and everybody sees the booger and nobody says anything. And then you show up at the event and step on stage, and then they let you take the pictures, and they like, dang, man, you got a booger on your nose. All the pictures you took all day got boogers on your nose. But nobody says anything. And so now the pictures are on display on the big screen, and every picture on TV is you with a booger on your nose. I've been on TV and I've been like, man, straighten up my tie. I've been on TV where my tie's been just a little bit too long. Or it's like the button, and then you watching the show, and it say that be the clip that they keep playing over and over and over again, and you just keep saying, dang, my tie wasn't pulled up. Or the clip you did, they just play you with a booger on your nose, and everybody talking about the booger, but nobody tells you got a booger. And the challenge just becomes that, and then the crazy part is, there are people that will push the person with the booger to the stage, not even telling them they got a booger. I hope I don't get a letter from the Booger Writers Association of the World. Is that offensive? Is that something that offend someone else.
Kleenex is going to send you a letter.
Kleenex, to all of the. So, no, and it's not just one. Like, I feel like people are just saying one person, and I'm saying no. Famo, like, can I tell you? Have you ever been somewhere and people be like, so I'll give you an example. I was somewhere talking to somebody about a candidate that was going to run for office. And they immediately proceeded to show me a videotape of this person in an compromising position. Right? Now, am I, as the person, and am I supposed to say, Femo, they got you on tape? Or do I say, let 3 million people run up the path believing it, knowing that they got the tape? And the second that you get enough momentum, they're going to hit you with the tape. Right? And sometimes it's a calculated risk, right? Like in the case of me. Let's take a call. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show. I just got to ask you, what is going on with the black candidates in the mayor's race, man? Oh, is this James? It sounds like James. I can hear you.
What's up, bro? Thanks for taking my call. You just said a whole lot of stuff. And my mind started going from one thing to the next, and I don't write anything down. Just wanted to say, when we talk about black people, we got a difficult time having community because of the way we were brought here. We were kidnapped, sold off, like puppies, so we got a difficult time dealing with that issue. And we learned it from, okay, I know I got to keep my language in check because you got some issues with certain people, but from horrible people, the colonizers, the people that kidnapped us, and because they have relationships with their cousins and that type of thing, close family members. So not only were we kidnapped and robbed of our culture and language and stripped from everything that made us the strong people that we are, we were abused, and had to work for free. And even in 1866, 1966, I'm sorry, 1966, James Meredith, trying to go to Ole Miss, that university in Mississippi, he was shot, because they didn't want him going to that school. So it's like, it hasn't been that long since we've been dealing with a lot of our issues. Some of us have been fortunate enough to be more resilient than others, and maybe not being in such bad situations as others were able to get an education and educate their children. But many of us were raised by people that were uneducated, and they were raised by people that were uneducated. They were raised by people that were uneducated, and I could probably say that 2 or 3 more times. So when you're raising people like that, you got to expect if 1 or 2 get an education and they get into, they're smart enough to get into government, they're not going to always make great decisions, huh?
I was going to say, you got to give me a rap.
Okay, okay, my bad. They're not going to always make the best decisions because they don't have a good history. I just let it go right there. Okay, thank you.
Hey,
I
James.
apologize.
No, James, don't apologize, man. You know you're part of the family, dog. We appreciate you. I just got to go to the bathroom. So let's take a quick break. We got any more calls, Riis? If we don't have any more calls, we're going to continue the conversation. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I'm going to be right back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
My mom would say, Carrie, don't talk about it, be about it. My name is Carrie K. Still, and as president of the Water Reclamation District, I lead an agency with $1 billion budget, AAA bond rating. We've increased transparency while we've reduced our reliance on tax dollars. Now, my opponent has been all talk and broken promises. The Sun-Times said Kagi's office is riddled with mismanagement, hurting our seniors, our veterans, and our property tax bills are going to be late again. Look, we all knew 4 years ago that the Cook County property tax system was broken and needed to be reformed. And unfortunately, it still does. That's why I'm asking for your vote June 28th, punch number 112. Because I won't spend the next 4 years talking about it. I'll be about it. Vote for me, Carrie K. Still, as your next Democratic Cook County assessor. This message has been paid for by friends of Carrie Still.
Steve Stanton. I've never been lucky at love, no never. I've never been good at holding on. A heart broken so many pieces, but I'll just keep on moving on because I'll never give up on love, no never, no never, and I'll never give up on trust, whatever come what may. All that I wanna say, that true love's gonna come my way. Alright, I'm looking for a lover for me. Could you be the one for me? Yeah, alright, just looking for forever for me. For me. See, I never ever thought that I could love again. I never ever thought that I could ever win. Don't ever give up, no, and don't ever give in. See, I pray that true love finds me in the end. I'll never give up on love. I will never.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the rule on the ones and twos. Hey, man, if you're like this mayor's race, if you got a booger, people, Lynette said if that's your friend, you supposed to tell him. Did we lose something? Oh, Lynette say if it's your friend and they got a booger, you supposed to tell them. But they ain't always my friend. And sometimes I don't feel like it's, like, what if it's not your place to tell them they got a booger? Like, do you walk up to a stranger and say, hey, man, you got a booger? Have you ever been somewhere where you tell somebody or they got bad breath and then you tell them and they get mad at you? One time I told somebody, I tried to offer them a Tic Tac. Man, I don't want no Tic Tac. I was like, you sure? No damn Tic Tac. Cuz I'm just trying to politely tell you got a booger in your breath. It's just terrible. How many times do people talk to you with bad breath and you just play it off? Or have you ever looked at somebody with a booger Riis and it's like really gross to look at, but you be like, so you be talking to them, but you be looking around like.
I'm the person that tell them, like, you got something in your nose, dog. You know what I'm saying?
You don't say booger. I be like, man.
Nah, you got something.
What if it's like one of them big flapping boogers?
Nah,
like
I just tell them you need to go to the bathroom. You got something in your nose. Yeah,
Riis, that's a good way. You know, Riis, you probably could do it.
Breath stink. You know what I'm saying? Like Tic Tacs is kind of. A lot of people don't eat Tic Tacs, but people love gum. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you eat a gum, you just feel courteous. Like, oh man, I'm sorry, man. Man, take a piece of gum. They be like, oh sure, I take it. A lot of people always is more accepting to gum. It doesn't feel less offensive. Like a Tic Tac is kind of for your breath. It's like kind of you saying my breath is foul. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Joe, I'm saying it is nice. So, like, it's hurting me to talk to you.
You know, but yeah, it's ways to. The way to say it, but yeah, like a lot of people, they just play it off. They
be looking at your eyes. They just don't want to look at like a flapping booger. Like every time they breathe, it be.
Yeah, no, but I usually tell somebody like that.
What if they got like a booger on their mustache?
I usually always. I think that's something that you should always just, you know, hey man, I'm gonna look at you, and man, go handle that in like the bathroom, something in your face, you know, like.
What if they got bad breath? If they got bad breath, do you tell them?
If I don't have no gum, you know, I be like, bro, you get some gum or something, you know. It's just like the way you said, like, you know, cause they be, I was like, man, you been outside all day? Like, yeah, man, I've been running. Like, oh man, got some gum or something, you know. You need to like freshen up, something like that. Yeah, you gotta. It's just the way you word things. You gotta.
What if they musty?
It all depends. Like if it's somebody I know, I always just tell them. Like if I know you, you know what I'm saying. Like I felt like if you left me, like, damn, I've been with bro all this time, and he ain't tell me I was, you know what I'm saying, smell funny or something. So I always say something, like if my home, like, hey, bro, you got to go freshen up a little bit, man. Let's stop at the, gas station and get some, Axe or something, something that.
Have you ever had somebody that put deodorant on top of the funk? And it just be like funk.
Yeah, for sure. You just, you know what I'm saying, spray it over. Mm-hmm.
Get your nose. That's when the baby be like, I got your
nose. No, you just gotta just tell them, man. But yeah, I feel you though.
Okay. All right, let's go to the live line. Call you on the Maze Jackson show. If somebody got a booger, do you tell them? Like, that's how I feel about these mayoral candidates. Good morning. Who this?
What's going on? This is James, babe.
What up, James Big Slim Davis?
Hey, I got a question. Okay. I want your opinion after I explain to you question. Okay, here you have a mayor. She's not the most popular mayor. I'm sure you have your issues with her. I have my issues with her. But when you think about the issue, my thing is the most important part of this situation is you want to keep that seat black. But here you have an unpopular mayor who has, in the beginning, turned up nose, looked down, and just was not a friend of the black family. The black community. And then you said you asked the question like, what about all these blacks running? What I want to ask you in this situation, being who sits in that seat right now, we know who she is, what she about, but she don't have that support that she had before, so she run into the black community like they always. So what would you do in this scenario if you was in office? And would you see this as let's keep this seat black and get behind her, or would you look to unseat her like the rest of these all the rest of these black alders are doing? Which is understandable because, like I said,
they not all trying to unseat her. They chilling. The black alderman's instinct.
No, I'm talking about the ones that's running.
Oh, okay.
Because she all she has now is so-called she's trying to quit the black community now because her constituent up north has abandoned her. It's like they don't want to have nothing to do with her. So what she's trying to do is court the black community now. So what do we do in this situation? Knowing how she played us in the beginning, how we know that we wasn't a priority to her in the beginning, but she's in that seat. And for all of these black aldermen that's running, it's going to dilute the black vote. We know it's going to, of course, she's not going to win with all of them running. You understand what I'm saying?
I sure do. And here's what my thought
is.
So
what do you do in that situation?
Remember,
is it more important to keep that seat black?
I don't know that that's the case, but I do think of an old NWA song that comes to mind. This is a stick up. Everybody get face down. Ren grab the gag so they don't make gag their mouth so they don't make a sound. Look, here go my thing. Put it on the table. Like, you ain't got no credit. She has absolutely zero credit. So what the mayor got to do is be walking around with a bag of money. She got to give Tyrone his. She got to give everybody.
Right.
And then no. That's to get to even be considered.
So
right?
so do you think they should? So do you think they should pull her to the corner, sit her down, like, look, we all you got. This is what we want. This is what we need you to do.
Here go the problem with her. Right? And they can't do it because they the ones with the boogers on their nose. Right? That's like what just happened to our boy in the newspaper. She like, oh, we got your file. So, homie, soon as you think you getting some traction, I'ma show everybody he got a booger on. Remember being a booger man at school? Remember if you showed up at school and you had a nasty nose and they made you the booger man? So she gonna booger man a whole bunch of people.
If a black alderman or a black woman get in this race, she's really good.
Wait, say that one more time.
She's really good. If a black woman or a black alderman.
So it is a black alderman. Rod Sawyer
already.
I'm sorry.
No. I said a black woman.
So Sophia King right now is talking about running as well. So Sophia King, the fourth ward alderman. So the challenge is though, but again, they keep splitting up the same pot. So now what you got to worry about is a white man or a white woman, and the white people just saying, okay, let them keep on doing that. That's why
I kind of see this lawyer judge. What was the brother that ran when Harold Washington died? That whole thing. Mm-hmm. And Davey E's right on it. I see the situation. I really want to keep the seat black, but I understand why I don't want it. Actually, I really don't want it to be her, but she's there, and I think they need to pull her to the corner. And like I said, tell her, look, we all that.
But here go my thing. She like, nah, I just used the white people to cut you off. You still got a booger on your nose. Like all the black people we talk about right now, she don't make no difference. What she trying to do right now is get to the runoff. What she got to do is eliminate the people. She got to eliminate the black people. And if any of the black people got boogers on their nose, she's going to exploit the boogers. She's not. Why make a deal when I could cut you out?
And you know what, man? I really don't think she likes men. Serious. Like,
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting. But she already told you. She said this is just another group of men trying to take down me as a black woman. Remember, I played that clip for you. So understand. She knows how to do it, right? Like she's got. I mean, look, right now the same people that are helping her are the same people that's running the commercial on me, right? So they are adept at taking whacks at people, or at least trying to exploit your vulnerabilities. And so what I'm telling you is that and hear me, James, and this is where I love all of us, and I love all of our candidates. I feel like we keep acting like people don't have boogers on their nose, and then when the people call out the booger, we be, man, you mad? He got a booger, but you can ignore the booger. We can ignore the booger. The white folks ain't gonna ignore the booger, and they're gonna use the booger. And they gonna have people running around talking about he gonna put it on you, and then people gonna be running away. So
what should be done?
I told you we gotta stick everybody up. Like everybody gotta get stuck up. Like everybody who got something gotta put something on the table. Like for the mayor, she got the most goodies, so she has the best chance to make up. But right now, see, my problem with y'all is that you ain't even made her make up. Like, you ain't hit the money bag or nothing. James, you like, we should just go with it because we want to keep it black. Well, that's fine, sis, but in the meantime, you got to pay for that because you got 4 years of making up to do. But, again, somebody got to, as long as people with boogers keep doing their thing, then she going to be like, I'm not really worried about Booger Man number one, so you don't have no leverage. You got to put up your ace game and then say, look, I'm going to put my ace game in. I'm going to play the big joker. I'm playing the big joker first go round. You beat the big joker, I'm rolling with you. In the meantime, if you want us to even consider you, you got to give up. Man, you got to give me that jack, that queen, that king, and that ace. Put them in the kitty.
So what you're saying, the bottom line, there's going to be a white boy sitting in that seat. That's what it sounds like.
I'm saying if y'all...
Or somebody Hispanic.
I'm saying that the white folks are probably smart enough to, if they want to take the seat, they have the wherewithal to finance you enough to get you out there, but not enough to get you over the edge. So they get you out there to split the black vote, and then they run up, and they will prop you up. Like you saw J.B. Pritzker prop up. Like, dog, you seen the play. Prop up the people who you don't want to run against. Put all the resources against them. Split the vote. And then now she may not even make the runoff because she ain't going to be Willie Wilson in the black neighborhoods.
Correct.
Now then you take that and then you put him in. So that's all I'm saying, James. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead and then we're going to wrap this call.
No, you kind of explained it, but I just see I see somebody other than us in that seat.
So that's why you got to stick them up now. Like, you got to keep hope alive. Like, you got to be like, man, like, if think about this. If a white person takes the seat, you really ain't got nothing coming because they took it straight from you. So if you ain't getting nothing now.
So what you saying, grab what you can get now?
Grab what you can get now and then say, okay, let's make a deal. If you make it to the whatchamajig, we with you. But in the meantime, if you even want to make it to the... See, my thing is, we got 2 bites at the apple. Y'all giving up the first bite already. No, you got the... You got 3 years. Look, James, you already saying like, that quick. Just think about how many times on this station right here we played the Anjanette Young commercial.
Correct.
And you, my man, one of my most inspirational callers in the whole world. I done hyper-educated you on this whole process. And look what you're talking to me about right now. Look what you're talking to me right now with no deal in place. They got you back to the same spot.
No. I said, sit her down. Look, we are all you have. This is what we want now. This is what I'm saying they should do. And like you said, if she make it to the runoff, and you put that deal together, okay, this is what we want now. And if you make it to the runoff, this is what we want moving forward. If you win. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But before we get to that, Aces, I got you. But Aces, before we get to any of that, like, hold on. If you don't come to the meeting bearing gifts, like, if you don't come to the meeting with your arms full, like, here, you ever had like, when I was pledging, if we knew we messed up, we came to the meeting with chicken, right? We came with bags of chicken because we knew the bros wasn't going to jump on us because they was going to jump on that chicken. And it would make them forget, or at least make them be like, I ain't as mad because my belly full. It's a few people, but the people that she talking to don't necessarily move the masses. That stated, if she can eliminate the competition, if she can make James Big Slim Davis say, man, she all we got, she our only hope, and we want to keep the state seat black before we say, hey, sis, you owe us, then guess what? She wins.
Look. I never said she all we got. We all she got.
Right, but if she can put all the boogers on the page, her goal is to make us be the only thing. Her be the only thing we got. Right? She wants to make sure that all of you make the other people feel like they can't win. I know you're doing your job, so I'm gonna let you go right there. That's my man James Big. That's my man James Big Slim Davis. James, call us back. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Is that it? We got any other calls? Okay, we got one more call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
What's going on, bro? What's up, Riis? What's cracking, man?
What up, Devo?
Hey, man, I just, you know, I just, she got boogers on her nose, too. You know what I'm saying? I think she has a style which is a little bit more intimidating, so people don't feel comfortable telling her that her breath stinks, she musty, and she got a booger on her nose. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. We need to. What's in it for the black people is bigger than just a slogan. It's actually a vision, one, and a mission and an objective. So she does need to come bearing gifts. Her credit is very bad with the community, and she needs to just to get back to have a zero balance. She needs to pay her dues, and and that's just for her. For everybody else, it's kind of similar. It's just different variables need to be taken into account. So I don't believe that there is a perfect candidate. I think that we need to assess candidates through the width of a lens and then determine which is the best candidate for us along different timelines of a campaign. Because sometimes we would have to make adjustments. But, like I said, she got boogers and don't nobody say nothing. Or she cool with me, so I'm gonna just overlook her booger. Or, I know her breath stink, but, she good with me. But it's like, no, you know what I'm saying? So she just out there bogus. But, she needs to come back. And the crazy thing, bro, is we've always extended our hands to her. This is what's crazy. So we've always extended our hands to her. It's not, this relationship isn't unrepairable. It's just that I don't think she's a willing participant based on her past history. She don't identify with regular black people. Even the press conference at Kenwood, she wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So Alderman King was there. JB was there. I don't know if the other lady was there, but that's just odd. You know what I'm saying? So here they are in your backyard, flagship CPS school, and you ain't even there. So it is what it is, man. Just keep teaching people, man. Keep being a mentor to people. Keep educating these young people, bro. Because these old coots they sacrificed us a long time ago, bro. So we gonna wander in the wilderness and keep our integrity. But these old coots, man, I ain't really got no. I love you if you love me, but if you're not trying to help and give back, move out the way, man. And that's it, bro. Peace. I'm out, dog.
Hey, y'all, that is Devo Gordine. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Look out. We are a victim. We are oftentimes political victims of a system set up to keep us on a two-legged stool. You ever had a two-legged stool? You know how hard it is to sit on a two-legged stool? Damn near impossible. And it seems like Democrats want our vote, but won't give us the resources or the money or the economics. And I just feel like we have got to rethink the way we do our politics. And when we come back, I want to talk about the opportunity that exists in the black community over the course of the next 7 days. And I must be honest, there's a selfish component of it, but there's a broader thought process and opportunity. I want to talk about a week of black political unity. I want to talk about it from the perspective of the What's in It for the Black People First sample ballot. Now, this concept that we talk about, that I want to talk about, is not to upset the natural order of things. It is not to stop anyone from making money. But I often say that there's two pieces of power in politics. There's people power and there's money power. And we don't necessarily have the money power. I told you last week I woke up and the ops wrote themselves a check for $1 million. I turned on the TV and I saw TV commercials for people all over the place. And I was thinking, how many of our I was telling y'all about how I was watching the commercials for Marie Newman and Sean Caston for the last 3 months. And now just this week, black candidates get money for the last week. And so when we come back, I want to talk to you about tonight. There's a meeting tonight. It's not a showboat meeting. It's not a meeting. If you're not running, you don't need to be at this meeting unless you BP1, with the BP1. But there's a meeting tonight that I want to call for, and then I'm going to ask all of us to participate. We have a unique opportunity to send a message that would be heard around the world. And I would be remiss if I did not talk to y'all about it. So let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about Black Political Unity Week. After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments. Ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. I know SBA loans just run the bread, make it ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. Look, hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and try to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was
the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell them to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call, tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city, we built this city back. Put this country together and gave him hella aid. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants, they pay the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on, was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment ha, 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha, 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 ha. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it ha, 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha, 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 ha. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it ha. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
WIFTBPM. Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Contact out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is the way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System, the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System, the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
I'm Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. It's the 8 o'clock hour. It's actually 8:10 in 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 seconds. I'm here with my man, DJ Riis, the ruler on the ones and twos.
Swell, mate.
It's all good, man. Last night, mate, I was at the bar, and I ran into a bloody Englishman. The Englishman was like, after you, bloke. I was like, who you calling a bloke? Bloody good, bloody good. This is the Maze Jackson Show, where I am the Lucky Springs, the Irishman. Pop goes, like Blue Diamonds, how did it go? I am the Lucky Charms. I want, Blue Diamonds, blah, blah, and I can't remember. But I know it was the luck of the Irish. And I must tell you that I used to want to get the Irish Spring soap, and now Irish Spring makes me musty. It's like, it's perfectly delicious. I don't know if that's but I'm telling you, I used to love the Irish Spring, and that Irish Spring, boy, it'd foam up and and you go outside and they'd be like, degree? That's that musty, Riis. Nobody would tell me. My mama be coming in like, boy, you smell like outside for real. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Got a booger? Will somebody tell you, what's the matter, Riis? You all right? Go to the live line. Call you on the Maze Jackson Show.
I guess somebody calling at the 8 o'clock hour over the phone.
What you mean?
Hi, this is Meredith.
Hey, Meredith Hammer.
Meredith Hammer. How are you?
I'm great. What you doing calling? You trying to get some double time. What's going on, Meredith?
They told me to call in. Tanya told me to call in. You gotta know.
Oh, hey. Okay, well, I'm telling you, we going to see you tonight at the meeting. I'm about to talk about tonight and what my idea of black unity for this week, because I really feel like we have a unique opportunity to do some things if we can work collectively. Y'all, this is Meredith Hammer. She is running for judge, Cook County judge, countywide. You saw her last Friday. She came on and she let us know that she's running. It's hammer time, right? So we're gonna be supporting Meredith, but we're gonna be talking about this a little bit later. So Meredith, what I want you to do is tune in. You call back. Well, you don't have to call back. You come tonight and then we're gonna make sure that everybody has an opportunity to get the word out for the rest of the week. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. Yeah, no problem. That is Meredith Hammer. Hammer time. Don't forget Maria Barlow, Tim Wright. Riis, let me read some of these names. I'm going to put them up here for y'all. Don't talk about it, be about it. Don't talk about it, be about it. Talk about us. So, Riis, what I want to do, and I guess I'm going to move over here. All right? And then we're going to put this over here. Done. And then what we're going to do is, let's go back. Let's take it way back, Riis. Riis, did you know that the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide began way back in 2016? And Riis, we started it because it was right after Laquan McDonald. And Riis, right after Laquan McDonald, one of the things that we noticed was that black people, because of our allegiance to the Democratic Party, was actually electing judges that had illegally locked us up, or that had been prosecutors during John Burge, and were all of the people, Riis, that during the time that the worst black things were happening to black people, like during Laquan McDonald, one of the things we realized was that the judge that was involved, one of the judges involved, was also a John Burge juror, a John Burge prosecutor. And what we recognized in 2016 was that even though we were loyal Democrats, we found ourselves being put in a position where, Riis, we were voting for people who had clearly demonstrated that they were against us as black people, even though they were Democrats. Do you understand how that can work? Like, do you understand how you can be a Democrat and still be against black people?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, and so what we found ourselves doing, huh?
I said Democrats for black people.
Boy, you better stop it. And you got to be careful, Riis, because when you come with that argument, that is how Democrats are calling Richard Boykin a Republican. Because if you don't just comply, then you got an issue. So I decided, so this week, we finally released a What's in It for the Black People sample ballot. And one of the things that ticked me off was the fact that we had people, trolls paid for by the ops, who didn't know our history. And so one of the things I did, Riis, is I went back and I got the first What's in It for the Black People voter ID card. And the reason I thought it was important for me to do it, because there was so many people now that are acting brand new, right? That are acting like we haven't been about this forever. And it's so funny because if you look at this voter card, you'll see people like, do you know remember Patrick Brutus? That's on our stream?
Yeah.
We endorsed him.
Okay.
Way back in 2016 when he ran for Congress. We were putting this out to try and help black folks be wizened up over how to vote for judges specifically. Because, Riis, what we used to do was go down the list and be like, ooh, that name sound black. Ooh, that name sound black. And then you would punch yes. Well, what we found out, Riis, was that some of these judges even changed their name to sound black. And so we published the first What's in It for the Black People voters guide. And what was funny about it, Riis, was, and I gotta see if I can find the picture. But the thing about it was, Riis, when we did it, it was considered revolutionary, so much so that I want you to see who endorsed the very first one. Because people forget, and Riis, if you don't show them some history, people will forget. People will try and write your story and play like you ain't been in the game forever. Do you know, when you're very shortly on your screen, you'll see this car is famous. But on the screen, you'll see Congresswoman Maxine Waters promoting our very first What's in It for the Black People voters guide. If you see Riis in that car, also is Aunt Neil, because she was driving Maxine Waters around. But the very first What's in It for the Black People voter card was endorsed by Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who was excited about the fact that we were actually putting black self-interest first. Now, that relationship went a little awry, Riis, when the border crisis happened, because Auntie Maxine became Tia Maxine, because she was more focused on the issues of the undocumented immigrants because she lived in California, right? And so she became, while we looked at her as the forefront of blackness, it was when we started to recognize that people of color thing and was being co-opted. There was actually an interview where Congresswoman Maxine Waters got on the phone with myself and my former co-host and stormed off the show, actually hung up on us because we asked her about what's in it for the black people while she was at the border and black folks were getting run out of L.A. And it was during that era, Riis, that what's in it for the black people voters guide became so important. And so every year since 2016, we've always published the What's in It for the Black People Voters Guide. And what's the funniest thing to me about it, Riis, is that the Democratic Party disrespects it. Other people disrespect the voter guide until it comes out, and then they're upset that they're not included in it. And so what I want you to do is, we've put on the show, on the screen, the Wiftable One sample ballot. It is the What's in It for the Black People First sample ballot. And Riis, as I published it last night, or not published it, as I was thinking yesterday and dreaming, I thought about the concept of Black Political Week in Chicago. And could for once, in this political arena, could we as black people work together to show our collective power? And so here's what came to me last night, Riis. What came to me last night, as many of the candidates out there know and people that are working on campaigns know, that this is the time, this is the season of the hustle. And I mean this with all due respect. There are professional people whose job it is to publish and provide campaign workers outside of the polling locations. Riis, there's over 5,000 something precincts in Cook County. So it's almost impossible for any one person to cover and pay for everybody to cover. But I was thinking, Riis, do you realize that we have black people running at the statewide level, at the county level, at the city level, and in state rep and state senate districts? And so what came to me yesterday was, well, let me back up. Do you all realize that right now we are at the lowest voter turnout in history?
You think it's because of COVID?
No, I think it's because of the time change. I think it's the summer. Usually we have this election in March. And I think that people are just swamped with politics. Plus, it's an off-year election. And Riis, one of the things that happens when there's a low turnout election, you know who that tends to benefit? That benefits the machine. It benefits the incumbents. It benefits the people that have an organization. But Riis, I was thinking about how could the What's in It for the Black People One sample ballot be used for all of us to work together collectively to win? Riis, if there is such a low turnout right now, that means that we as black folks can actually, if we were to turn out and to show up and to show out at our polling places, we could actually turn this thing upside down on a sneak attack. Now, it ain't a sneak attack now, but I'm not worried about a sneak attack, because it's just like the fighting, like when you used to hear about, what's old boy, the football coach? He said, could you stop it? You know, you'd be like, we gonna run the fullback sweep right. You're like, why they run the same play? Because you can't stop it. And so my thought was, if we knew that the Democratic Party, their advantage is usually because, Riis, they have the most political organization. What if for this one go-round, right, all the black people on the What's in It for the Black People First sample ballot, instead of working separately, work together? See, Riis, we don't have the money power. But I damn sure believe that if we were to be smart about this, we definitely could have the people power. Let me tell you what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is that how many people know a black person that is frustrated with the outcomes that black people have had from the Democratic Party? I would tell you that if you were to ask most black Democrats, they would tell you that they were disgruntled. That they haven't seen, they're going to stay Democrat, they're not going to change. But what if in the black communities, only the people that we wanted to get votes got votes, regardless of what the party said? What if David Moore could rely on the fact that everybody black, I mean, help me understand, why would we go, what reason do we have to go against David Moore? Think about it. So now imagine if we all that are part of this operation, that are on this sample ballot, carry one unified ballot. One unified palm card for everybody on the What's in It for the Black People thing. One. So imagine, Riis, let me show y'all. Black people show up to a polling place with a 4x4 sign that says, What's in It for the Black People sample ballot here. And imagine that this is at every polling place where black people are walking up to. Do you think that black people will want to vote for What's in It for the Black People First? Or do you think they would take a Cook County Democratic Party ballot? And I'm talking about in the black community. See, everybody builds their plan around black disunity. And what a lot of other candidates, particularly that expect, there are a lot of white candidates that expect the black vote because of the Cook County Democratic Party. They don't come to your neighborhood. They only come by in passing, but they rely on the fact that they got that little sample ballot in the mail that tells them, that makes all of, and what they sell to the white guys is the fact that they can deliver them the black vote with little to no demand. And so my question becomes, what if all the black people this month decided, this election cycle decided that we were going to work together? What would happen if black people decided in this election cycle that instead of white folks being able to guarantee the black vote based on the Democratic Party selling you to them, what if we all decided to vote unified? And let me tell you, there's going to be people, there's going to be naysayers, there's going to be people that's going to say, well, all you do is care about Kerry. Not really. And I would tell you that my track record proves it. I think that it's funny because there are going to be naysayers. There are going to be people that are now who have benefited from our love that want to be anti and will tell you every reason why. But help me understand. If you are a black person, and so Riis, if you are David Moore and you got to cover every precinct in Cook County, and then you are Meredith Hammer and you got to cover every precinct in Cook County, and both people are going to charge you double, why not put us all on the same document and hand it to black people and say, black people, what's in it for the black people first? All of us standing outside are passing out one ballot. One ballot. So imagine there's no, now again, and then we put the word out. So at every polling place, if a black person has to have a choice between the Cook County Democratic Party sample ballot and the what's in it for the black people first sample ballot, again, no pride of ownership. Everybody that's a part of the team can be branded on it. But what if we handed out one unified palm piece across Cook County? Can I tell you what would happen? What would happen is all of these paper tigers, all of the people that claim to represent the Democratic Party, when you go look at that palm card and they show you that they're picking the white guys over your own candidates. When you say to black people, let's put our candidates first. This ballot is your self-interest. How do you think that the black person in the party that's in the party has been played? You tell me where anybody black is doing better in Cook County right now. And imagine what would happen if everybody black saw being with black people ain't the thing to be scared of. See, right now there's a lot of people, Riis, that are being told to stay away from, black people are being told to stay away from what's in it for the black people, stay away from black people media, have been told to be scared of their own people. And my thing is, don't run from your people, run to them. Y'all, the lowest turnout in the history is right here, which means that if everybody black could one day be out of the same hymn book, the reality is, how many of us have won with the party? Help me. Imagine if for the next week, everybody showed up at a location and we all passed the same ballot. Now, if you ain't make it, I understand that. But the reality is, if you're David Moore and you're Meredith Hammer and you're Carrie Steele and you are running county-wide, y'all should be collaborating because they working against y'all. Why spend the money to print another palm card? Why? What if we could get black people in Cook County? Because, see, y'all so used to being paid. What if we could get everybody to invest in our own success? That we all had a part in turning over the whole entire table. Right now, they depend on black folks. When you got that text in the mail, they have charged people who have now paid to say that black people will blindly follow this list. So imagine right now, in the 18th Ward, we got Willie Preston. So imagine if Willie Preston is now in the 18th Ward, and instead of us having to worry about the 18th Ward, Willie Preston teamed up with Alderman Curtis have now put together a coalition that passes our card, or Willie passes our card. See, we are so hell-bent on big I's and little U's that we can't see how collectively we have more strength collectively, but they won't allow you to come together. You can be a fist, a black fist, a black fist. We have the ability in this cycle with this low turnout to reshape. Imagine if out south, and out west, and in Proviso and in Thornton, that the numbers for anybody that was opposed to this pump, do y'all understand what happens next election cycle? Every single person is coming to ask you. Imagine if there are boxes of literature, and if you got an hour, you standing out, passing out, because we have decided that we as black folks have been played in this process for the last 6 years. They are still telling you to vote for people who tried to lock you away illegally. Have we seen a purge of the judicial system? Let me ask a question. When you saw Jason Van Dyke gets 7 years, and he's home now. I want y'all to know Jason Van Dyke is home now. This started when before he went on trial, and he is home now. What has changed for us politically? And so my question becomes, what if we could be black unified for one day? What if during this process, we as black folks said, one palm card. I know it's scary. I know it's scary to put your fate in the hands of someone else, but could you imagine if there was one palm card in the black streets right now? So look, when we come back, I want to open up the phone lines. I want to talk to y'all. I want to ask y'all, is it possible for us to create the change that we could take this. Take it. All right, y'all. Okay, y'all, it is the Maze Jackson Show. That's fair. I understand. So we don't want anybody that could possibly be in trouble. That's fine. We don't want to put anybody that has any federal regulations. But for those of us that are here, black, Shannon, I see you, right? Like you said, why we're disgruntled. Let's be disgruntled together and let's turn their tables over. Right? Like, Shannon, I'm talking to you out of love. But Shannon, we know that we can't get our seniors to move off of the Democratic Party. I saw my messages, Regina, and we won't let anybody that, like, if they can't coordinate, that's okay. We don't want to get anybody in trouble that was. But if you want to be with us tonight at 7 o'clock at TP, if you are a candidate that has been selected on the What's in It for the Black People first sample ballot, we'd like you to meet us tonight. Because my thing is, there's no need to rebuild the wheel. Do y'all know that there is a ballot that goes around the Polish community, and that's the one they use? Right? We used to have the soul slate. Can I tell you there's no, like, people have asked me, Maze, how much does it cost to be What's in It for the Black People slated candidate? There is no cost. I refuse to charge. I refuse to sell. What I am saying is, can you imagine if we had a unified palm card throughout every black community? Riis, if you see a Cook County Democratic Party and you see a Black People First, What's in It for the Black People, which palm card you taking?
The What's in It for the Black People.
And if you one of the parties, guys, you going to be like, I'm What's in It for the Black People too. You going to put yours in your pocket. If you're tired of being the driver, if you're tired of never having an opportunity to go inside, if you are tired of, like right now, there is absolutely no ground game for the Democratic Party, Riis. If you go to every single polling place, the people pushing are not the Democratic Party. It's the individual committeemen. So imagine if instead of us having all of these big old fights and arguments, what if we all unifiedly printed these bad boys, put them at every polling place, and shared? There is a judicial candidates forum tonight, so we know that some of the judicial candidates won't be there. But let me just say this one more time, y'all. One palm cart across the city for black folks in the suburbs. Y'all, we could turn this whole thing around. I want y'all to think about Big Bill Dawson. It took him 4 years. We've been at this bad boy 6. Let me ask a question. What race are you coming out for? Who are you coming to vote for? The biggest drivers in this election cycle is the 5th District Commissioner race, the 1st Congressional, and then we think we might have a race on the west side. But the question becomes, y'all, is it possible for us to work together? Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. See, because my thing is, Riis, we could also use the platform for the next week for all of the endorsed candidates to continue to get their word out. See, like the whole package. So imagine if we all pushing the same thing through social and digital. So everybody who's got a text message program, a text 10 friends program, if we all are pushing one ballot through the black community, think about what they did this go round. Let's think about what they did this round. Let's think about the fact that they used race. They used every tool in the toolbox this election cycle, talking about they're going to make things, trying to trick, convince. They have used fear. They blackened the picture at a smiling black couple picture to use fear and intimidation. I was talking to a white friend yesterday, and he was like, oh, man, they are trying to make you scary with the white people. This is the Democratic Party. Let's teach them a lesson. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:42 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over to the Kennedy now, O'Hare to the Loop will be 55 minutes. Outbound will be 34. On the Edens, Deerfield to the Exchange will be 1 hour. Exchange to Deerfield will be 56 minutes. Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 49 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 46. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 60 minutes. Outbound will be 36 minutes, while the Bishop Ford is 33 minutes. I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 26 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 16 minutes to the Loop, 19 minutes to 95th, while DuSable Drive, South 55th to Jackson will be 13 minutes. Jackson to 55th will be 8. On the north side, Randolph to Bryn Mawr, 8 minutes. Bryn Mawr to Randolph, 9 minutes. Today's weather is now currently 82 and sunny. Today will be a high of 100 with a low of 73. I'm Riis the Ruler. Y'all stay cool here on this Tuesday, the Maze Jackson Show.
What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Look, the What's in it for the Black People First organization. We've been doing this thing since 2016. Every year we get together. We meet, discuss, and publish. What's in it for the Black People Political Action Committee? Black People First is an organization. It's not built around one person. As we talked about before, the legacy of having inclusion, having Black people have a say in their own determination. Now, I got to tell you, I do feel a certain way when people feel as though I don't get to go to nobody else's nothing and talk to them about how they should think. We as a group decided a long time ago that we wanted to make a change. That's why we have and do all of the things that we do to uplift our community. And I gotta say, if you don't pick and choose when you want to respect us, don't pick and choose. If you're going to respect us and you're going to acknowledge us, then respect us and acknowledge us. Don't pick it when it's convenient. We ask for a seat at the table. And when we don't get it, then we don't beg, we don't crawl, we don't get on our knees. We get up, we work, we do something. I be thinking about when people talk about what they talk about, who got up and got outside and got on the streets. Our organization. One palm card, one ballot, one Black vote. Now, obviously, if you have other interests, that's not I can't control that, and I don't want to denigrate that. But if you are on the What's in it for the Black People First sample ballot, we'd love for you to participate in our palm card and social media program, because we have the ability to multiply our strength. We can consolidate the printing. We can consolidate the social. We can consolidate the text. We can make it simple for our people to participate in our liberation. And it's always funny to me that nobody wants to talk to you till they realize how you can help or hurt. And I told y'all I'd be getting tired of getting threatened. Now, I want y'all to know that there are plenty of people that are against our palm card. But that tends to be because there is an investment in Black disunity. And I think that we've got to change that narrative of the best way to deal with Black people is to divide them. We have to determine our own fates. And that's what we at What's in it for the Black People do. Remember, this palm card is not a Bible. It is a guide. So many times our people come into the polling places and they are at the mercy of whoever is in the polling place, the last person. Let's give them an organization, a group of people that have demonstrated consistently that they can trust us. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Let me go to the live line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. One palm card. What's up?
Hey, what up, man? This is Marcus, man.
What's up, Marcus? How you feeling, man? Which Marcus?
Yeah, it's about, you probably literally, I came to the 55th. I was in the parking lot talking to you briefly about where y'all play ball at, but y'all know if you remember me or not.
I do. What's going on?
So I want to say this. So, yeah, I do agree, but the challenge would be like how to gain momentum amongst the younger people like Riis age and a couple of people in my age group and try to get them to the polling places where they know where you had a palm card, where they know who is who, so that way we would get a bigger turnout. And I was kind of remembering like what Harold Washington did, using that kind of template to get everybody out there and just flood the polling places. And when they go home at night, you get a big turnout. So that's my comment.
Thanks, Marcus. I appreciate your comment. So I would tell you that y'all realize this is an off-year election. This is the lowest turnout that we've seen right now in history. They hope that it'll come in between 16 and 24%. In this kind of election, and I don't want to, you really have to focus on the core and super core Democratic voters. And that is going to be seniors. Young people, Riis, y'all getting ready to be ready for 4th of July. Probably by next Tuesday, you ain't going to be thinking about no election. You're going to be thinking about barbecue. Now, you will because you've been inundated. But I think one of the things we got to do is make sure that our seniors know, and they know better. Let's go to the live line. Carly on the maze. Oh, we don't got nobody else. One palm card, though. Could you imagine, and I know it would be tough to trust, but one palm card? You can add yours to it, but could you imagine if we passed one palm card across Cook County? One black palm card. Could you imagine if the brothers and sisters in Evanston, when they went outside, they saw a palm card? Could you imagine all the black people that live in little towns and places that they could feel like there was something for us? You know, when we pushed that, somebody said, do you got one of these for Will County? Do you have one for DuPage County? And for so many years, people have asked us to make them for all of the counties. We got to get some more chapters. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. If you are a candidate, I know you got your own operation, but one palm card. Could you imagine one black palm card, not politically connected, one black palm card? If everybody in the What's in it for the Black People sample ballot shared resources across and past the one ballot, we could help everybody at one time. We can have distribution locations. Look, what I need to do is have this meeting so that all of What's in it for the Black People First, we are meeting tonight with the people that we have on our sample ballot. What we want is one palm card. One palm card. We know that there are political operations that are allied or that are working with us, and we don't want to hurt those people. But in the same time, all of us outside, Riis, if Willie Preston is outside on a location, one palm card. If Justin Slaughter is out on and working a whole one palm card, you're on there, but one palm card. Distribution centers, team, man, we know Ricky is doing his thing. We know Dane is doing his thing. One palm card. Do y'all understand that we could print in bulk? So instead of you paying a printer to do you 10,000 or 20,000, we do one palm card. And then we can do a side piece for everybody so you can have them in your locations, but one palm card. If you put black people on one palm card and hand it out, you telling me black people ain't taking it from you? One. Am I crazy? Am I crazy to believe that in one cycle that we can use paper and people to change this dynamic? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. We have seen people do everything from take your family issues. They have smeared, splashed. They have been willing to do anything. But can they stop one palm card in the black community. That is not to take nothing away from Ricky, Dane, Ike, any of the brothers that do their thing, Darnell, all of them that are out there getting it rocking, I'm with you. But for those black people that are out here, that are candidates, that are trying to figure out, how do I get the money to have an election day operation? What if we put our brains together? What if instead of Richard Boykin running one direction and Andre Smith running another direction and Monica Gordon running another direction, one palm card? Senior buildings, one palm card. Going canvassing, one palm card. One. Where everybody was looking for that palm card. Where you went into the local stores, where all the business trips, on election day, if you got 1 hour, you are passing one palm card. Can you imagine how much you could save? If we ordered a 500,000 pieces, it's going to be a lot cheaper than you ordering 10, you ordering 10, you ordering 10. One palm card. 872-259-7474. What if everybody black was pushing one palm card? How much of an advantage would that give David Moore? How much of an advantage would that give Richard Boykin? How much of an advantage does that give Monica Gordon, Meredith Hammer, Maria Barlow, Carrie Steele, right? One palm card. They done texted you, they done mailed you, because they want you to vote one way. One palm card. But there don't nothing in that say nothing about you. What they did is make a bunch of blurry pictures of people of color and all of these different things, which is fine when you're going north. But when you got specific issues that nobody has talked about and wants to continue to hide, one palm card. Could you imagine if everybody was texting one palm card? Could you imagine if people say, who you will vote? You ain't got the palm card? One palm card. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. If you are a candidate that has been endorsed by What's in It for the Black People First, please stop by the TP tonight, 5401 South Wentworth. We don't need a whole entourage, just you and maybe one person. But we want one palm card. One palm card. One. Call you on the Mace Jackson Show.
My name is Pam. Hi, Mace.
Hey.
This is Pam.
Hey, Pam. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm in the 29th ward, and I am very disgusted. Everything I've received, I've thrown it away. I have voted every year since I've been able to vote. So I have used your card, the sample ballot, What's in It for the Black People before, and it's a great, great idea what you just said. I think that is just exceptionally brilliant idea. That's what we need. And I'm encouraging it. I'm a senior, and my kids call me, Mom, who you think, you have anything on these judges? So it goes a long way. So I'm calling to encourage it. I think it's a great idea. And believe me, Mace, this time around, I was so hesitant. I didn't even know if I was going to vote, you know?
Wow.
So I am thankful to know that the ballot is out there, and I'm encouraging everybody. I know all my friends, my neighbors, they're going to get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. One palm card. Like, y'all, one palm card. They force feed our seniors the votes, and then they take advantage of it. One palm card. What if one palm card went to every senior home? What if the seniors got texts from their families and vice versa? What if everybody, how you got the Text 10 Friends campaign, was texting 10 friends one palm card? One. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Shalom, Aki.
What up, Israel?
Man, kind of hectic guy. I think I could change my name from Prince to King.
Go ahead then, King. What's up?
When you have a palm card, I heard you mention Kerry Steele, David, and all the rest of them. Who usually be at the top of the ticket of a palm card?
The U.S. Senator.
Oh, okay. And what's under that? I'm gonna make a long story short. What can we? How can we get Beverly Miles on your palm card?
It's not my palm card. It's our group palm card. So we have to talk about that. You guys.
Who I need to talk to?
It's published at this point, bro.
Oh, it's too late.
It's published. If you want to, we can talk about it later. This ain't the place to talk about it, though.
Okay, well, shalom. I'm finna protest this fucking, this site on, I hope David Moore listening. I'm on 79th and Union. Metro out here, all I see is white boys and Mexicans. Pritzker's gonna be out here tomorrow, so I'm trying to talk to these, let me calm down. Trying to talk to these people nicely. But if Pritzker listening, I'm on 79th and Lower. I'll see you tomorrow, JB Pritzker and all his hacks. The ones that tried to get her kicked off the ballot. Shalom, hallelujah, Yahweh.
There it is. That is Israel. We got anybody else on the line? All right, y'all. One palm card. One palm card, the concept. Tonight, 5401 South Wentworth, 7 o'clock at TP. If you are an endorsed candidate on the What's in It for the Black People sample ballot, I'm going to humbly ask that you consider participating with us in one palm card. Now, I know it's going to be scary because it is always scary when black people decide that they want to organize in their own self-interest, and everybody else will start to feel like they have a right to our self-interest. But there's nothing wrong with black folks. Nothing wrong with black folks representing their own self-interest. Shout out to all the brothers at the Cook County Jail. I see y'all voting like crazy. I sure hope that y'all doing the right thing. And don't be passing no flies around. I want to send a big shout out to Black Men United. That's big what y'all doing out there, man. And what I really loved about the story was the support of black women supporting black men standing up in their community. So that was pretty dope. But this concept of one palm card, hey Riis, what would happen if people felt like they couldn't just rely on the black Democratic vote without talking to us? They make us jump through every hoop to kiss every butt that they got to make sure that we don't ever offend. But what if the base said, no, you gotta court our vote? What if just them approved wasn't enough? What if you had to be black people approved? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny what the certification system is. Like, who certifies the candidates that come south of? Right? Like, do we ask them, are they qualified? Do we splash their families on TV? Remember, there is nothing that we have that they do not feel like they have a right to. Nothing. And so I know it's scary for us to try to trust each other. I know it's a scary premise of, man, and I'm not telling you to take away from what you're doing, but what if at every polling place, you could find one palm card? What if could you imagine if everybody black right now was texting one palm card, one sample ballot? Just think about how much more we could go. Just think about if you had all of those candidates pushing in the same direction. that everybody was able to eat off of each other. Everybody was able to provide resources. No big eyes, no little U's, no I'm smarter than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm better than you. If you pull a Republican ticket, vote for Jimmy Lee Tillman. But in the meantime, y'all know we got an objective. I got an objective, but I think all of the candidates on this ballot have an objective, which is to win. You think that we could get everybody pushing in one? Like, for election day, could you give up an hour to go to a polling place in your neighborhood and just say, man, I got a handful. I'm going to take these bad boys. I'm going to pass. I am going to have a say. Y'all always talk about the masses that get ignored. You are the masses that get ignored. What you going to do? With the lowest voter turnout in history, y'all, we can shape this with, do y'all understand what plurality is? I'm going to explain plurality and then I'm going to get this thing off. Plurality means that when a candidate, there should be an advantage to black candidates in black areas, just like there's an advantage to other candidates in other areas. But imagine what should happen for all of the black candidates coming out of Cook County is if they could leave the black area with 80% of the vote. So imagine if all of the candidates on the Black People First candidate sample ballot got 80% of the vote. That means they get 8 out of 10 votes in the black community, which means that the other votes, that by the time we get to the white areas where the white people are going to vote heavily for the white person, we can make up the difference because they didn't get the votes in our community. One palm card. And one palm card. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Any calls? Callers? All right, y'all. One palm card. One palm card. Don't wait on it to honey join. All y'all sitting around like, y'all, we could change the dynamic. We could turn this whole ship this election. Low turnout, which means that we have an opportunity to increase. Imagine if they could not count on you as the base. That you was going to be thinking. That they didn't tell people, oh, don't worry about them. We got them for you. Imagine if they had to work for yours. Like they make us work for theirs. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Riis, you up there shaking your head. What's the matter, man? You all good?
Oh, yeah. You know I'm blessed by the best. I'm good.
Okay, cool. I hope ain't nobody around there talking crazy. I bet not. Riis a little volatile, man. He might get at you. He get with your glamour. All right, and he got his fresh haircut, too, so he ain't playing with y'all. All right, y'all. At your barber shop, at your beauty shop, at the Jewel, at the Dominic's, at the Oscar. Oh, there ain't no Dominic's no more. At the Mariano's, at every polling place. 1, 1, 1 palm card. All right, y'all. It is the Maze Jackson Show. It is the Maze Jackson Show. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Give us a call. We'll see y'all. If you are an endorsed candidate of the Black People First Party, we are meeting with you tonight. 7 o'clock, 5401. This ain't no big show out, showtime meeting. This is about billing down to the business. All right. I'll see y'all tonight. 7 o'clock. Candidates, if you are running and you would like to be part of the One Palm Card Initiative, please reach out to us. It's the Maze Jackson Show. So for Maze, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day I ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, just still tell them. Maze said we out of here.
Peace. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government invested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying